And hello, welcome to College Football Fix as we look at doing exactly that, fixing college football. This is Stream City Radio, streamcity.org. I'm your host, James O'Brien, and Stream City Sports if you're looking for us on the YouTube side of the world. So, there we go. What is College Football Fix? Very simply, it is fixing the problems we have in college football. We've dropped episodes where we dealt with NIL, dealt with paying the players, dealt with the transfer portal, dealt with rule changes, dealt with realignment, over a big surface view. These shows are the fun shows. We're playing with realignment. We've already done one, and that basically was iteration 1, 1.1 to 1.2, where you either had 18 or 20 teams in a conference, and this maintained the four big conferences, the Big 10, Big 12, ACC, SEC. Now we're moving on to option 2.1, 2.2, and I'm throwing in 2.3, which could actually be 3.3 because it would work just as well with the way we're going to do it in the next grouping. Anyhow, so this is what we're looking at. What's important in realignment? One, preserving as many rivalries as possible. Maybe even bringing back some rivalries we've lost. Doing realignment in a way that makes sense geographically. Breaking it into divisions that will allow you to play a very balanced schedule across the division to where we know who won that division. That's a playoff spot for that division. We'll have a couple wild cards. We'll get into all that. But it allows us to do away with the committee, do away with the polls, do away with analytics. None of that matters. Have winners and losers because I have a scoreboard. I don't need anybody to tell me who's best. So at the end of the day, I don't care who's best. I care who played the best and earned their spot into the playoffs. Might not always be the best team. Happens in the NFL all the time, where it's not necessarily the best team that makes the championship. So back up off that. Stop trying to manipulate things because it hasn't worked out that well. We've gone through that ad nauseum. That, the powers that be trying to manipulate things and put the best teams in or the whatever. You're not smarter than the scoreboard. Just earn it. Just earn it. No, there will never be a coach, there will never be a player that complains about earning it on the field. Won't ever happen. If I know what my tiebreakers are going into the season, I got nothing to complain about. I control my entire destiny. I don't need anybody's help. It only matters what I do on the field. That's what these players and coaches deserve. And as more and more money goes into this, we got to stop playing games. Because this is a giant ESPN, Fox Sports game that we're playing. And we got to stop it. Their considerations, as much money as they pour into it, have to be secondary. So this realignment takes us into two conferences. And we have actually three different options. Originally, I had two options on this. But I rolled a third one in that we'll get to at the end of it. But the first option, and we'll call it option 2.1. And let's just go over real quick what that would be. 236-team conferences, so 72 teams. You play 11 conference games, and you play 13 total. Your division would be 5 games because you got 6 teams in your division. You would play a second division on a rotating basis until you played all 5 of them. And you get to schedule one game on your own. So there is if Georgia and Georgia Tech aren't in the same one, they can schedule that. So you have a little control. I'd also move all of those big non-conference games to week 1 because this would be scheduled it'd be just a giant matchup where the two conference, Big 10, we'll just call them Big 10 SEC because that's kind of the direction we're headed, would play each other week 1 on Labor Day weekend that week at bowl or neutral sites. There you go. And if you want to have still bowl games, I don't care. More football is good for me. I don't mind. Stop using them as a playoff, though. Those have got to go back to home campus. Championship, fine. I'll even say the last 2 rounds, fine. But other than that, leave them alone. All right, what are we going to align the conferences as? Let's take a look at the Big 10 first in this situation. And we're going to do a conference in the Northwest, 72 teams. So we are bringing Washington State and Oregon State back to the power conferences. So you end up with Oregon, Oregon State, Washington State, Utah, and BYU. That's one division in the Big Ten. Second division out west in the Big Ten would be Arizona, Arizona State, the 4 schools from California in Stanford, UCLA, USC, and California. Wow, that almost makes sense. That's kind of crazy talk. Next, let's go look at some Big Ten traditional footprint. How about this one? Illinois, Indiana, Northwestern, Ohio State, Purdue, and we're sticking Notre Dame in there with them. And yes, you notice Penn State not there. Rutgers not there. We'll get to them in a minute. The other half of the Big Ten, Iowa, Michigan, Michigan State, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. That northeast corner, kind of the old independents from the Northeast. Rutgers, Pittsburgh, Penn State, West Virginia, Syracuse, Boston College. We get some great rivalries back in that situation where you've got Pitt playing Penn State every year, Pitt playing West Virginia every year. You keep the Syracuse, Boston College thing going. You get Boston College, Rutgers back. I mean, that makes way too much sense. Then we're going to take a big chunk of the old Big 12, or actually the old Big 8, and put Kansas, Kansas State, Iowa State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, because they belong in the same conference, and Colorado all together. So that rounds out your Big 10. Now let's look at the SEC. What are we going to do with the SEC? All right, very simply. We're going to start out SEC footprint, that southeast corner, and we're going to go Georgia, Florida, and that's where it's going to start changing. Miami, Central Florida, Georgia Tech, FSU. So basically a Georgia and Florida conference or division in this situation. Then we're going to take the middle part of the SEC in Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Mississippi, Mississippi State. So we're preserving a ton of big rivalries in both of these. And the first one sounds like it's not, but what it does is it puts Georgia in a position to play Georgia Tech and Florida as division rivals and schedule Tech every year as their big non-conference deal. And you've got the same thing here. Tennessee, Alabama stays, Mississippi, Mississippi State, Auburn, Alabama, Vandy, Tennessee, Kentucky would fall out of that, which is going to be kind of tough for them because this is going to be a whole new landscape for them because they're going to have Virginia, Virginia Tech, Kentucky, Louisville, which works out well, Maryland, and Cincinnati. We're pulling them in because Ohio State's going to pout if you put them in the same conference, or God help you, put them in the same division as the Buckeyes. Then we'll look at the Carolinas. Duke, North Carolina, NC State, Wake Forest, South Carolina, Clemson. Wow. Not any long road trips in that entire division. And finally, the old Southwest Conference, or the majority of it in Baylor, SMU, TCU, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and we did skip kind of that Mississippi Valley where we go Arkansas, LSU, Missouri. We're going to bring in Houston and Rice. Yeah, I said Rice because they used to be. We got to bring some people up. Got to bring a couple up. They're one of them. And the other one is Tulane. They're going to come up and join. I don't think anybody would think too much of bringing Tulane into the conference after the way they played the last couple of years. If anybody in that group outside of Boise State, who didn't make this cut, were to get moved up, they're the team that makes the most sense. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk more realignment and college football on the College Football Fix. Another option. And this one not going to be all that different. Well, it's going to be a little different because we're adding a few more teams. We're going up to, I believe we're going up to 80 in this set. Yeah, it'd be 2.2. So it would be two 40-team conferences, the Big Ten, SEC. We'll come back and check that out here on Stream City Radio in just a minute. Podcast for that one will drop tomorrow on Stream City Sports. Back in a moment with your host, James O'Brien. We love the outdoors in the Southeast and spend thousands upon thousands of dollars building decks, patios, outdoor kitchens, and pool areas to simply have it be too hot to use for 3 months out of the year. You need help. Call SOS Southern Outdoor Shade. Let them turn your outdoor area from livable to lovable. With a variety of motorized pergolas and roof systems, they can turn any area in your yard into your favorite area in your yard, whether it be next to the pool, whether it be over the deck, over the patio, over the top of your outdoor kitchen. It's always custom and made specifically to fit all your desires. With a variety of products, they can fit any budget. Give them a call at 770-833-3819 or look them up on the web at southernoutdoorshade.com.